if you're lactose intolerant, you can't watch this movie because it's got so much cheese.
Sorry, yeah, I gotta go. You guys can do this on your own now.
Nope, end it there. You agree 100%. I'm right.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Flicks Fellas. I'm your host, James, today, and I'm joined by the lovely Kevin Fahey and Joey Amato. Say hello, fellas.
Hello.
Hello, fellas. I got it.
Nice.
That
I
time.
knew you were going to do it, so I didn't want to
You gotta wait.
Because you're
All right.
cheap.
Yeah, damn it.
So today, we're taking a look at the comedy movie Murder Mystery, which is an original Netflix made in 2019. Murder Mystery was directed by Kyle Newacek and written by James Vanderbilt. It's a fun, about family-friendly movie about Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston as they play mild-mannered middle class couple who find themselves in the middle of an extraordinary circumstance when they decide to take a trip together. In an otherwise very normal couple experiences, there are some interesting characters, exciting moments, and shocker, a murder mystery. That has them truly playing out a murder-like novel throughout the story and throughout the movie. There's twists, turns, and honestly, I thought it was a pretty decent popcorn flick, but let's see what the guys think. Joey, let's start off with you.
This was exactly the movie that I want to watch Adam Sandler in. I thought it was perfect for him and his age relevance now. There was no stupid voices or stupid costumes, so I really enjoyed it on that aspect. Jennifer Aniston has proven yet again that she can make believe that she is truly married to literally anybody, and it's amazing. And
I love her.
I really enjoyed it.
I think she's married to Adam Sandler in more than one movie as well. Like, it's not just like she's married to anybody. I'm pretty sure this
She
is the
is.
second or
There's
third
another
time.
one where
so hot.
they pretend to be married because he's the plastic surgeon and she's his like assistant,
I do remember that.
and
I
he
can't remember
pays
what
her
that's
to
called.
like pretend. Is it the change? No, not the change.
No, I think it's called the change-up, yeah, because it's like
No.
essentially he's trying to make his ex jealous because they're
It's
going
not
on
the
like same
change-up.
vacation.
That's
We're not talking about that movie.
That's the only believable scenario for me that Adam Sandler would be married to her is that he's paying her.
That's what I mean. Like, it doesn't seem believable, but the acting was good. I like it. She's great. She can do no wrong.
She can do no wrong. She is the one. All right, Joey, anything else for first reactions?
A lot of ads in this, but some good PSAs as well. So we'll talk about that in the next section.
Nice fat Monster Energy and Cheeto ad right off the bat.
That's true. It was literally a bag of ads.
I thought the Amazon ad was stronger, but
Which one?
the Amazon ad. He's literally, it's like a 10-second shot of just Amazon gift cards,
yes,
and he's like
yes,
holding
yes.
it. And then,
Yes.
yeah. Also, wait, if I was Allegra, I would sue this movie for defamation.
Get into that. That's a spoiler, Joey.
Yeah, sorry.
That is a spoiler, Joe. That's a
Okay.
massive spoiler.
That is not a massive spoiler.
Massive. Yes, it is. No, it is, though.
She has allergies.
Joey, stop spoiling.
Yeah, Joe.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, that's like most Adam Sandler movies for me. With a select few, they're just like, oh, they're pretty good. And then there's the ones that are just like absolutely atrocious. But this one was in the pretty good range. I enjoyed it.
I think
didn't
that's the
know it
best you
was,
can expect with Adam Sandler now, though. It's like pretty good.
Yeah.
Like that's a he used to
Yeah, I
be
didn't
amazing and then just crashed, and now it's been like pretty good is good.
I'm trying to think like the best Adam Sandler movies. Like Waterboy, that's a great Adam Sandler movie.
Happy Gilmore.
Happy
Billy
Gilmore,
Madison,
Billy Madison.
all 90s movies.
Yeah.
Grown Ups was good.
Little Nicky.
Little Nicky was great.
And the one where he plays
Big
Cole
Daddy.
Sprouse's dad.
Yeah, Big Daddy. Fantastic.
But yeah, this was in that okay range of Adam Sandler movies. I don't hate Adam Sandler like other people hate Adam Sandler. I really, I don't. Don't mess with the Zohan.
That's a great movie.
Sorry, I'm stuck in a loop. Don't mess with that. I'm stuck in this loop of just thinking about Adam Sandler movies. But this one was just like I guess it's hard to rate or to compare like a murder mystery movie after I've seen Knives Out, which was like an awesome murder mystery
amazing.
movie.
Yes,
and
but
this
that's
is
a
just
drama.
like a
This
lame
is-
one.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
comedy.
but it's got some comedy to it.
Knives Out definitely has, it laughs like at the, it does have some comedy, but I feel like and that movie's amazing simply because of James Bond's like Kentucky Fried accent. But the what's it called? The like this is much more like it's a comedy movie with like that is placed in like a murder mystery tone.
This is exactly what I expected going into this movie, and I wasn't disappointed watching this movie.
Exactly.
Like I finished this movie. Yeah, that's exactly it, Joe. Is that you get exactly what you expect, and that's like a good indicator for me for movies. Is like, did you get what you expect? If the answer is yes, then that's like a pretty good movie. You know, like if you got exactly. And
if you're expecting something remotely decent, if
right,
you're expecting trash, then you don't.
Or exactly, or if you're expecting like when you see Adam Sandler, you're like, this movie has the potential to be awful.
Yeah.
But then it's not, and you're like, all right, like that was pretty good. So I this is like one of those that you're sitting down, and you're like with your significant other, and you just want to put something stupid on, and you just like are entertained for an hour and a half, and it's only an hour and a half. Like it didn't feel too long, which is good.
No, I agree. I think it was like the proper length, and like in the exact same way. Like I think the analogy that works real well for that is like I don't go to McDonald's expecting a 5-course like or a 5-course 5-star meal. You know what I mean? I go to McDonald's because I'm driving and I want something to taste good.
Right.
It's not too long, whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's exactly what this movie is, and it definitely hits that tone where it's like, okay, like it's just kind of like a happy-go-lucky like little fun Adam Sandler movie.
I didn't like laugh out loud a ton. Which is
I actually
like
did.
not a good thing. There were a few, and I forgot to write them down, but I didn't.
There were a couple jokes that I really liked. Everything around the race car driver, I laughed out loud.
Yes.
I thought the general banter was good, and the fact that they just constantly like pulled away from the dramatics that was going on and was like totally different. Like when the guy first gets murdered, again, not spoiler because it's called Murder Mystery.
What?
And he's just talking about being hungry. Like I laughed. That was funny.
Yeah. I feel like that was like honestly my biggest hot take for this whole movie is like I feel like the first I'm not going to talk about it now. I'll talk about it in the spoiler part of the podcast because it's more about like what's going on in the movie than our first takes. But does anyone else have first takes about the movie? I feel like this again like it's not a super deep movie. It was fun. We all liked it. It seemed like it had a positive takeaway. It didn't rock anybody's world, but
Is Jennifer Aniston hotter now than she was when she was in Friends? And why is
she's the same?
Yes?
She's exactly the same. She does not age.
And I think she's hotter now.
I think it's harder to compare because
I think it's hard.
Looking back now, watching Friends, you're looking at like a '90s style and trends.
I also feel like you think she's hotter now because she's older and still looks great. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
That's
like she's withstand like the test of time and she still looks amazing.
Yeah. Also,
but this is not the podcast where we subjectify women by their looks.
We're not objectifying her. She's a beautiful woman. She's also an amazing actress.
She's an amazing actress, and she's incredibly beautiful.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Hashtag.
Into her age.
Yeah. That I feel like that's the opinion of like the entire nation anyway.
Yeah. Nobody.
I don't think that's a hot take that Jennifer Aniston's hot. Okay, so I think we're good on first reactions. So we'll take a quick word from our sponsor, and then we'll get right back with some spoilers. And we're back. Thanks for that sponsorship. All right, so guys, I know we talked.
Sponsor.
Thanks, sponsor. You're my favorite sponsor. So yeah, Jennifer Aniston, hot. What else did we think about the movie? That's where we left off.
Adam Sandler, hot. That
mustache.
Oh, goodness.
That mustache was such a good call. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I also feel like the beginning of this movie, like, it wasn't even like Adam Sandler was acting. It's like they were trying to convince Adam Sandler to like get into an acting role again, and he's like, nah, fuck it. Like, I want to go to bed and I want to eat. And I'm like, if I was Adam Sandler, I feel like this is how I would act in every movie that I'm in. Like, he's already been in 100 movies that have grossed like a ton of money. You know what I mean? Like, he's more or less just like...
Have you seen, like, pictures of him that, like, the paparazzi take of, like, him just, like, walking around New York or wherever he lives?
Yeah, he looks like a homeless man.
He looks like a homeless man. Like, literally, this man has so much money. I wonder what his net worth is. And he walks around looking like a bum. It's awesome. He doesn't care about anything.
Wouldn't you? You know what I mean? Like, if I'm Adam Sandler, like, if I walk in anywhere, everybody's like, oh my God, it's Adam Sandler. You know what I mean? Like, why would I wear, like, super nice clothes? Like, I'd just be comfy all the time.
That's
fair.
That's a good
but also,
question. Would I?
I think, like, if you're that famous, your ego's probably got to be a little bit inflated
but
that you want to look good every time you're being seen.
yeah, but you say that, but it's not like you're looking at Leonardo DiCaprio. You know what I mean? It's Adam Sandler. You know what I'm saying? Like Leonardo DiCaprio has like probably 6,000 suits, whereas Adam Sandler's like, I know my brand. But yeah, so what did you guys think of? So like again, this whole movie kind of starts, and it's a very like they do a big like I feel like it's 15, 20 minutes of like just the couple like of Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston before they travel. Like this whole like murder mystery starts when they decide to go on this vacation they can't afford.
Yeah,
You know?
because
Yeah,
he's
wait, let's
lying
talk a
about
little bit
being a
about
detective.
the beginning of this movie and how it starts and how we get into the murder mystery.
Yeah,
The dude from Workaholics is in it.
is he?
Hmm.
Yeah, that dude, the other cop is from Workaholics.
Oh, I didn't know that. He's not one of the three guys.
No, but he works at the office. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He looked really funny.
Anyway.
Yeah. So essentially, yeah, Adam Sandler's character is a police officer who is going for his detective's exam. They start the movie where they're kind of like he's talking with one of his very close friends who's also a police officer, explaining how he failed his police officer's or his detective exam, and
Like
he's
three
asked
times.
like 3 times. Yeah, he can't take it for like another 3 months or something like that. And he's asking. They're all going out to dinner with their wives later on that evening, and he is asking him and his wife to lie about him passing his exam so he can lie to Jennifer Aniston and tell him that he passed it.
Well, he's been lying to her.
Yeah, this was his
That's
third
true.
fail,
Yeah.
he said. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he's kind of a.
Piece
Is
of
it
he
shit.
just
a
sets up.
scumbag?
He's a little bit of a scumbag.
Is that a dirtball move?
You
To
should tell
lie
your
for-
significant other.
So he said you can't take it for 3 more months, and he failed 3 times, meaning it's been at least 6 months, right?
Yeah,
he
it's
takes
been
it once,
he can't take it
3
for
months
a year.
later, takes it
Yeah,
again,
it's
3
like-
months later, fails. So he's been lying to her for at least 6 months, which I think is kind of scummy.
Yeah. Well, you should
keep
like
up a lie for
especially
that long.
because especially when you're like an adult, you know what I mean? Like their livelihoods are like intertwined, and like what they can afford and stuff like that is based off like both of their take homes. So like it's important to know like okay, like what is like your salary and what are you potentially making, you know, because it affects everybody.
That kind of goes in, like, again, I wasn't expecting a hyper-realistic movie, obviously, with something like
Yeah, I
this,
was
and Adam
just gonna
Sandler nonetheless, but I do always think about those little plot holes. I mean, I don't know what everyone's relationship is like, but I would imagine that a married couple of 15 years know what each other brings home and like has
that's
access to
true.
each other's bank accounts. And at least if he got promoted to detective, there would have been some sort of ceremony or something to celebrate. And the
Yeah,
fact that there's none of that, you know,
it's a red flag.
red flag.
Yeah. Yeah, so essentially, like that's how the whole movie starts, and they're going out to dinner for their anniversary. Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston's, and he gets her the joke that we were making earlier about this movie is all about selling you products. Is in in one of the first scenes, he's in like a convenience store getting her an Amazon gift card, and like a kid opens a backpack because he's stealing like Monster Energy Tricks, like Takis and Cheetos. You know what I mean? So it's like he opens the bag, and all you see is like brands, you know what I mean?
I don't think Taki's paid to put their product in this
Are
movie.
you sure?
It was a good call out.
They just benefited.
Yeah.
I feel like I notice Takis more now because I have never had a Taki and like I want one. But like every time I have the opportunity to buy Takis, I'm like, I'm trying to be healthy. I'm not gonna eat Takis. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, were there actually Takis in there?
I'm pretty sure there's Takis in there.
To be honest, I've never heard of a Taki until 30 seconds ago when you.
No way. No, there's
yeah,
not. You can.
Oh, no! I think I have. Yeah.
I was like, you're
we
not
were
a
talking
human
about
on this
Takis.
planet.
We were eating them at James's
Yeah,
house
I
while
was gonna
James
say
wasn't
we-
there.
Yeah.
I
You wasn't supposed
have
to know,
never had a
Kevin.
Taki.
Definitely was not Takis in there. I'm pretty sure like most people don't know what Takis are. But anyway, there was a lot of product placement in this movie, specifically those scenes. I thought that scene in the convenience store was kind of cheesy, but there's a lot of cheese in this movie.
Yeah, it's very cheesy. I also feel that the lead up is super long because essentially, like the whole, like they do a lot of like. I like the fact that they do like they introduce the plot and then like there's the whole back and forth like after. So the whole like plot kind of starts when Jennifer Aniston is like yelling at him or not yelling at him, but she gets mad at him because she feels like he's very unromantic and she's not really doing much for their anniversary. And then he lies to her and tells her that he had previously booked a trip for them to go to Europe.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I disagree because I think that the lead up was literally just every scene they were giving information that you needed to know, and there was nothing really extra. Like even the convenience store scene, like yeah, it was kind of cheesy, it wasn't like great, but it reemphasized that he's a cop. It kind of reemphasized that he's not a great husband. He kind of doesn't really like remember pay attention to details or like there was just all these every scene was kind of like pushing this narrative of what their relationship is, and then it quickly goes into the plane scene, which is them going to Europe, and that's where I think more development starts happening of
Yeah.
the
And that's where
plot.
the movie starts, really.
What
You know what I
what
mean?
was that timeline? Like they were out at their anniversary dinner, and then that night, that same night, he goes, "Well, I was planning on taking you to Italy. Like I already have it booked." And then the
Mhm.
next scene, but he didn't. Spoiler alert, he didn't have it booked. And then the next scene, they're on the plane. How quickly can you book a flight to Italy
That's
and
definitely
like
hella
have a
expensive.
vacation planned? That's
That's
hella
the thing. I don't
expensive.
know if it definitely was the
What
next
is
day.
that
I feel like
timeline?
it was not important, so that's why they didn't mention it. But I feel like it was supposed to be. It could have been 3 weeks, 6 months later,
That's
and
true.
Yeah.
it doesn't matter really to the story.
Do you
So
remember where they were going specifically? Did they say like what airport they were going to in Italy?
they went to
I
Spain.
Are they going to Spain?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Well,
they
it's
land in
after
Spain.
yeah, after they go to Spain, they end up going to Monaco, which is like one of the most bananas places on the planet. Like, have you guys heard? Do you guys know anything about Monaco?
Yeah,
I've never been
it's the south
outside
of
of this
France.
continent.
I've
Really?
never been to Monaco either, but Monaco is like they do a lot of Formula One races there. Like that's the only place. I think it's the only city that actually has a Formula One track in it. But like it, I think like 33% of the city are millionaires. Like it's like crazy
It's like
how much
Dubai.
wealth. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of like Dubai, where it's
but
like
it's also like tiny. Like there's 100 people that live there, so it's not that.
yeah, it's like one really small city, but like everybody's crazy wealthy, and like the harbors are like full of these like amazing yachts. So it's like
It's where the rich and famous go to like live and vacation, and
exactly, yeah,
Couple questions, because both of you have been on planes to Italy
that's true.
or Spain, but
Not Spain.
you haven't been to Spain. But anyway, you've gone that direction
Mhm.
Yes.
on a plane.
No, there's no
Are there-
bars. No.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
Wow, dude, you read my mind.
was
Is
like,
that
there's-
what the planes are like?
There are not bars.
There's no bars. No, there's no. It's not like
Unless you-
that.
Yeah, I think the only planes you're going to see that have like bars or elaborate stuff like that are like United Arab Emirates or something like
Yeah.
to the Middle East. Like
I heard
nothing-
that those planes are nuts though. Like I had a
Yeah.
friend that like went over to the Middle East and like he stayed on a plane, and he wasn't in first class, but he like could see first class, and there were like cubbies for them to like take like to sleep in. Like it was
Oh,
like
I've
Yeah.
seen that. Yeah.
There's a TikTok guy I follow. He's like a travel hacker, and he posts all those videos about like inside of like first class of different airlines, and it's pretty wild what they have.
that's nuts.
Here's my other question then. What was this rich ass dude doing on that plane?
He was going to Monaco to
Unlike
party.
a commercial airline, you're telling me that this dude doesn't have enough money for like a
His
private
own
jet.
private jet, yeah. Because I wrote that note. I was like, imagine just being so rich that you can just say your name to a flight attendant who is not necessarily in your circles, and she knows instantly who you are and the power that you have.
Is it implied that like his family owns the airliner or something?
That's what I
No.
thought, but it's not. I don't think.
I think it's like it's just he has like essentially like when like people of a certain echelon like sign up for that plane ride, you know what I mean? And they're like crazy ultra mega platinum members or whatever, you know what I mean? That costs $20,000 a year to be a part of. Then like they get like a memo and it's like this person gets whatever the fuck they want. You
Yeah,
know what I
but
mean?
why? If you're at like as rich as he is, why would you even fly on like a commercial flight?
Because there's a bar on the flight. Duh.
You can have a bar on your own private jet.
Yeah, what if he can't afford that? What if he's like rich enough to get a bar on like the first class, but not rich enough to get a bar on his private jet?
I don't know. I think it's implied he's rich enough
If
for a
he could
private
drop
jet.
his name like that, because she didn't recognize him. It's not like he's like this big George Clooney celebrity that it's like, oh my God, Mr. Clooney, I'm so sorry. Like he had to say his name for her to be like, oh, I know who you are now. Like absolutely
And you don't need to own a private jet. You can just charter one.
true.
Okay, I think we don't like we're getting caught up on
Again,
the
the
plane.
little realistic
We're getting
plot
caught-
holes.
yeah. We're getting caught in the minutia of an Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah,
which
it's
is
literally
absolutely
a
asinine.
vehicle to get to the plot. Like, but I did like the scene where it was like he came off like a bad guy. You know what I mean? I sorry, go ahead, get what you're saying.
No, I was gonna say we don't review The Godfather. We just get really into the details of an Adam Sandler Netflix movie.
That's what people are here for. That's the premium content.
Yes, that's
Why does he not have his own jet? And why does that bar so big? That bar was huge.
There was a couch.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Plane's not
full
gonna
on
do that.
Lounge in there.
Plane's not going to do that.
Yeah.
Do you know how many seats they can get on there? You know how many seats?
Oh my god, you know how much more money they could be making? Yeah,
Crazy.
No shot.
Something basic economy makes me the maddest thing on the planet. Have you ever seen that on planes where they like basically if you like take like the bottomest normalist option, they don't even call you like economy anymore. They call you basic economy.
Yeah.
Where like you don't get a carry-on, you don't get like
You don't get shit.
yeah, you don't get shit. They're like, you can like sit on our plane if we let you.
Have you flown front? We've all flown Frontier, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever paid? Yeah, have you ever paid like the extra like $20 or whatever it is for like the nicer seats in the front of the plane?
You can't even call it first class.
I have. Yeah, I couldn't call it first class.
It's not first class.
I did pay for that,
Yeah.
and it's just like a bigger plastic seat.
Wait, can I tell you a story?
Yes.
Yes.
When I was abroad, I did like a multi-city trip for my spring break, and I did the cheapest option I could find. I was going to a few different places, and I was going from Paris to Rome, I want to say it was, or yeah, Paris to Rome. And apparently I accidentally booked first class.
That's fucking awesome.
The woman who's checking me in, she goes, like in her French accent, you booked first class, right? And I was like, I did? And she was like, yeah, like looking at me as if I was like, how the fuck did this kid get onto first class? I was like, oh, that's cool.
She's like, you
yeah,
don't belong here.
You have a private lounge over there. It's all for you. Like there's bathrooms and food and coffee. Like help yourself to anything. I was like, oh,
That's
this
awesome.
is nice. And then they literally serve you like amazing like champagne and like caprese and all these like great meals on the plane.
Mhm.
It's worth it. I don't know how much it actually cost, but it was worth it.
You guys were all there when our friend Nick, we all flew to Miami together, right? All
No,
four of
I
us?
flew differently.
You flew separately. Joe, you
I
were
flew
on the
with you
plane
guys.
with us.
Yeah.
And we get on the plane, or we're in the airport, and Nick like pays $120 to upgrade to first class on a flight to Miami. Like we're just flying 3 hours to Miami, and he boards first because he gets zone 1 or whatever. And we're all walking by him, and he's like in this big ass chair with like a blanket. And then like halfway through the flight, they bring him out like chicken parm. Like we're on a 3-hour flight. Like
Meanwhile, they charge us like $50 for peanuts.
I was so mad one time. I was on a 11-hour flight, I think, to work. And it was like a work flight. And they didn't give us, like usually planes, if they have you on the plane for more than like 9 hours, they'll give you some kind of meal, right?
Mhm.
I asked like what kind of food they have. They're like, oh, we have a burger that you can buy for $16. And I was like, you have the audacity to not only not give me something to eat, but also I have to pay you $16 for like a burger that you took out of a plastic bag. Like
That's
A
getting
White Castle
microwaved,
burger from the
Yeah.
freezer.
Yeah.
I was so
Okay.
mad.
Let's get
Anyway,
back to
the
this
plane
movie.
in that movie is super unrealistic. What the fuck is wrong with this Adam Sandler Netflix movie? Absolutely insane.
Jennifer
Alright,
Aniston doesn't fly anything less, so they had to
Yeah.
make it bougie.
So we get
Oh yes.
we get off the plane. They meet this guy, whatever something Cavendish. Very awesome last name. I remember the last
Charles
name.
Cavendish.
Charles, way cooler. Charles Cavendish. Huge.
Which
What
she
was
also
that guy
points
in
out that it
recently?
sounds like this is the
He's-
evil name in a murder mystery novel, which I love. those
He's
little stupid
Gaston.
names.
He's Gaston from Beauty and the Beast.
Live
That's not what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, it is.
He was in something else recently. Anyway, yes. They get off, they get to the yacht, and they're just introducing these characters that are literally like Clue characters. Like
They are.
literally everybody involved in this murder mystery movie are exactly the characters you would expect to be in a murder mystery movie, which is
Mhm.
hilarious.
But that's what I
crack me
love.
up.
It's like exactly what you expect. They're not trying to be like beyond cliche or creative. They're just like, here are your cliche characters in a cliche movie type. let's just make it funny and do what we can with it.
Yeah, they deliver on what you're expecting. You know, it's exactly what Kevin was saying before, where it's like, I'm sitting here expecting a silly-ass Clue movie, and I got a silly-ass Clue movie.
Black Panther's dad with an eye patch was in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That was his dad?
That's Black Panther's dad.
I did not recognize
Yeah.
him. To be fair, he also had an eye patch.
He had an eye patch and he had one hand like
And
what's
no
his
dick.
face in Happy Gilmore.
Like,
Chubbs.
Chubbs. Yeah, Chubbs was the guy that
yeah.
trained him.
Yeah, is that like an Easter egg?
I think that was supposed to be a little Easter egg, yeah.
It's kind of
That's
like
awesome.
an Easter egg, right?
I love that. All right, and then I actually really like the way they introduced all the characters because I feel like it was a very like they did it really quickly, but it was also like I like that they like zoomed in on everyone and was like, oh, this is this person's deal.
And it's these two people who are like just not supposed to be there,
Yeah.
like introducing themselves on a yacht to these like crazy rich people who are about to be involved in this big murder mystery.
The best was when they like reintroduced themselves to another guy and he goes, yeah, I know your names. It's Steve and Lady Steve.
Oh, yes, the oh my god, that guy was so freaking funny. Yeah, what I don't know what that was.
No, I don't remember
That
his name. I know
was
who you're talking about.
absolutely-
He
I
was
think
funny.
it was Vic something, but he was.
They called him Vic. Everybody called him
the
Vic for
Maharaj.
short. The
The
Maharaj.
Maharaj, yeah.
That's also a cool name.
Absolutely hilarious when he was making him bow, and then he's like just this fuck boy, like
Yeah.
literally
Aziz
a fuckboy.
Ansari knockoff.
Yes.
Like if you ordered
He
him
had
on Wish.
huge Aziz Ansari energy.
Yeah.
What's it called? But the I also loved the like the ex KGB guy, and then like the movie star that Adam Sandler's character is just like obsessed with, like and
Grace Ballard.
they all kind of come together on this yacht, and it's so funny because like they're all in, like I love the scene where like everybody's coming down for like the cocktail hour when like the man of the house is coming down, like the old really rich guy is coming down, and Adam Sandler's wearing like a bowling shirt, and like he's like, "What? I should have worn socks." Like,
Well, and that's the funny part too, is because it's like he didn't expect to be at a black tie event on
No.
his cruise
Yeah.
or on his vacation.
he was going on a bus tour.
He's on a bus tour, right? And he was dressed for it.
It's amazing, yeah. And then
Which, before,
But yeah,
I don't want to get into a spoiler real any at all, but like just yet. But everybody on this ship kind of had a purpose to be there. You know, it was like his lifelong friend, his son, his nephew, his fiance or his wife. Who is Grace Ballard
to him,
to him? Without,
oh yes,
yeah, without
yes,
spoiling the
before
movie.
spoiler.
yeah,
yeah.
I think they were just like friends, like because he's like my star of the silver screen,
Like, very close
I
family
think they're
friends.
just like close family friends.
I also think like he probably funds her. Like he's like a
funds
patron
her
of
movie.
hers.
Yeah, that just didn't make
Yeah.
sense to me because the whole point of this is him like saying that, discussing the will, and like why would this random girl be in your will? Like it makes sense, your
Yeah.
son, your lifelong friend, your nephew, all these people. But then I just was kind of confused with her.
Mhm.
But we'll
Yeah.
get into that part later.
Yeah, we will.
Now you
We'll
have
get-
me thinking. Now my brain is turning. And
Don't hurt yourself.
You got the one wheel, the one mice on the wheel, or the one
yeah,
mouse
the one
on the
mouse.
wheel.
Yeah.
No, and then so they have this whole scene, right? And it's like they're talking about the will, and then like the rich benefactor comes down and he's like, "You've all been like taking my money for too long. You got to go do your own things." And then the lights turn off, and then people-
Classic.
yeah, lights turn off. Somebody goes,
I knew.
"Ah!" And then like, I
And then a
love
gunshot.
Yeah, and then there's a gunshot. I love that they also take the time beforehand and like somebody brings out this huge pedestal with like a giant fucking knife on it. And they're like, "Oh, that's really cool. Wonder
Which
what that's
also
gonna
had
be."
nothing to do with it.
No, they were just like, "Oh, this is a knife like gifted to them by this like dignitary." And then
Yeah.
she made like the Jennifer Aniston had like the snippy remark where it's like, "Ah, my husband gifted me shoes from Sears" or something like that. And it's like, yeah.
My in-laws gave me a toaster from Sears
yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
because it was his in-laws gave it to him.
Yeah, and it's like supposed to be this like beautiful piece, but I'm like, wow, why in like this black tie event on a boat are you like, you know what it's time for? Me to display my cool ass
The
knife.
family dagger. Because that's the movie. That's the murder mystery. There's the dude with the pistol. There's the dagger. Like, who
Yeah.
was it? Was it Colonel Eye Patch in
Colonel
the,
Mustard.
in the bow with with the
crazy
family dagger.
Yeah.
It's so funny you say that because there was no candlestick, but there was a lamp.
There was the lamp.
There was a lamp.
Joe, literally, as we were talking about this, I was like, "Oh shit, is that lamp an Easter egg too?" Later in the movie.
I mean, there's a gun. The gun is also like the revolvering clue. You know what I mean? That,
Oh yeah. This was just like on the nose. Like it just knew exactly what it was supposed to be, and just like
silly ass Clue movie.
Just leaned into it, nice
Yeah.
and
just
easy.
nice enough. I didn't think it was overly, but it was nice enough.
Yeah, but essentially, lights go off, scream, gunshot, which no one got shot, but the guy just shot in the dark. We're not going to talk about it. In a closed room full of civilians. But lights go off, scream, gunshot, lights turn back on, benefactor's on the ground dead with like a knife in his chest. And also, the first thing that one character, like the actress character, is like, oh, we should check and see if he signed it. Like, what a dick.
Yeah,
like,
let's
he
talk
signed
about
because
that
essentially
for
he
a
was
second.
changing the will. That was the whole thing. Sorry, I want to explain what I was just saying. So essentially, like, he came through, he was like, I'm changing the will, nobody gets anything except my new wife, who's like this really young Japanese girl. And like, the lights go off, murder, turns back on, and then like the Grace, what's her name? Grace
Ballard.
Basically he says, did he sign it? And then she like looks at it and see he didn't sign it. And then he like starts rooting through the corpse to like make sure he doesn't have another copy that he signed.
Okay, so let's talk about this scene for a little bit and talk about first guesses at who killed him.
Like, who did I think when I was watching
Yeah, who was just your first instinct from that scene? The son? Okay, James?
I thought it was the guy with the, what's it called? I thought it was the, like, the big, KGB guy. I thought it was a big fat Russian guy.
Yeah, I wrote down first thought, Butler or Juan Carlos. Because
I love Juan Carlos. He's like my favorite character in this whole movie.
That's why I wrote Butler or Juan Carlos and Toby. Toby's the son, right? And the Juan Carlos is the
race car driver
who doesn't speak any English.
Who is the butler?
Yes. So that's the thing. There was no butler. There was Wang, who they kept mentioning. But on the plane, when Jennifer Aniston is reading her murder mystery novel, he says, it's always the butler. It's always the butler. So I was like, okay, clearly it's going to be the butler in this movie. But they had a nice little twist on that run.
Yeah.
So it wasn't actually Wang the butler, but it was...
He was the captain. He wasn't a butler. He was the captain of the ship.
Was he the captain?
Yeah, he was the captain.
Okay.
Can we talk about how funny the Juan Carlos character was, though, for a
Yes.
second?
Oh
Like,
my
that
gosh.
was one of the funny parts of the movie that made me laugh out loud when they taught, like...
I mean, he comes in and he's like, yes, I go fast. And it's like, can you understand what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, race car. Can you speak English? Yeah, that was so funny.
Or the Lady Gaga, something about Lady Gaga. He goes, oh yeah, Lady Gaga, paparazzi.
Yeah, I had a little problem with that just because I was like, okay, it's funny for the face value of it being funny, but I still believed that he was guilty and not being the fully truth. So that's why I just didn't believe it.
See, I saw him as like the like almost like the R2-D2 of this movie. He's like the person that doesn't offer any information, but is something that like people bounce off of because it's funny.
AKA the person you least suspect.
Oh.
Or Jar Jar Binks.
Or Jar Jar Binks. But Jar Jar Binks talks. Like, Juan Carlo doesn't really talk.
Yeah, but everything Jar Jar Binks talks is fucking stupid. And everything Juan Carlo says just was...
You say that, but Jar Jar Binks is secretly the dad character.
He is secretly the Phantom Menace. We won't get too into it, but some Reddit user made a dissertation that he is the actual Phantom Menace. So yeah, he dies. Dad dies. Now it's all like, who gets the money? And now we're in the thick of the movie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where it's like, okay, like this is okay. There's a real murder mystery. The murder mystery, that the movie's named after and is about happened, and we're dealing with it. And it's like
on a cruise in the middle of the Mediterranean.
Yeah. And
I thought it was going to spend the whole time on the cruise, but they pretty soon stop in Monaco, and then the rest of the movie.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, just because you have all these suspects. Clearly, they're still killing each other. Like, they gotta kind of separate them. And
I can't imagine that they'd let I mean, to be fair,
they'd let him just go.
Well, no, because they send them to a hotel. Like, they send them to a very specific hotel. They sent them all to the same hotel. And then, like,
But
a bunch of shit happens.
You would think that, I don't know how the police work, how it actually works, but couldn't you literally be like, okay, there are 7 people here, and it has to be one of you 7. We know for a fact it's one of you 7.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you let the 7 go? Like, at least in the real world, like, someone dies in Philly, it's like there's so many people in Philly that you're like, it could be any of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you start with that many, but with this, there's 7 that it could only be. Like, you're already narrowed down to 7.
Yeah,
so
I feel like
let them go?
I feel like you have to hold them in some way, especially because you know it has to be one of the people here, you know?
Yeah.
And there's so much, like, money involved, and, like, it's a very high-profile case, so I can't imagine that you'd be able to kind of, like, let people
But once
go.
again, it's an Adam Sandler Netflix movie, so...
Especially because not only... They like, all split up and are waiting for Interpol, and then the son dies. Like, he gets shot while typing a message.
2 people are dead on this boat, and they're just like,
and they're like, send them to a hotel.
Yeah, here's a really nice hotel. There's a race tomorrow. Like, why don't you go hang out?
The one guy still participates in.
Yeah, exactly. Juan Carlos, he goes fast.
Yes.
But yeah, I thought that was funny. And then the hotel scene when he has the lamp, that was funny. Now that we know it's kind of an Easter egg.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like what's it called? So there's the whole scene where the ex-KGB guy, like, informed the couple about, like, this, like, woman that, like, was involved with the family and, like, previously married the benefactor. And then they had this whole back and forth where, like, oh, we want to get you on recording. And they have this whole witty quote unquote witty banter back and forth about them trying to figure out how to do voice memos on their, like, iPhone. And I was like, that's not funny. Like, that's not a funny joke, just in my opinion. Like, it was a very forced, not funny joke.
2 real quick notes. The other movie that they play a couple in is the movie called Just Go With It, not The Change Up.
Okay.
Just a little circle back.
Nice. Gotta fill that circle.
That question was burning in the back of my mind.
Did either of you see the Queen Latifah movie Last Holiday?
No.
What?
I feel like I've seen part of it.
The Christmas classic?
I feel like I've seen part of it on, like, TBS or something.
Oh, it's a great movie. You gotta give it a watch. But I think it's the same hotel that she stays at, but they call it Switzerland, and here it's in Italy. So
no, it's in Spain.
Literally,
Monica's in
like
France.
Every movie is like Italy and Spain. It's like the same fucking place.
Yeah.
Anywhere not America is the same.
It's the same place.
Like, borders don't matter. Like, the distance between major cities is like 45
matters.
minutes.
Yeah, I noticed that they're like, we got to get you out of Monaco into Lake Como, and I'm like, how are you just gonna cross a country line without Interpol?
They got to go through border patrol, like border checkpoints and stuff like that.
They're literally making news in America. Like, you don't think that they have border patrol, like, trying to check for these 2,
murderers, suspected murderers.
Yeah. So the other point is that the 8 or so many famous guests on the cruise all kind of suspect the Americans who are Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston as the murderers, and the French investigator, don't know his name, don't know a word he said all movie.
Smoke circle guy.
Yes.
Because they did that 4
great
times.
Smoke rings. He also suspects that they're the murderers, and they're on the run from him basically the whole movie.
Yeah. And they very easily avoid police. Like, very easily. Like, they were in a bar, like, drinking, and, like, we're talking to the bartender, and the bartender was, like, translating the TV with their face on it to them. And he was like, yes, you're wanted for murder.
You are the most wanted people in Europe right now. Enjoying your beer?
I'm not going to call the police.
Yeah, that was quite ridiculous.
And also, like, I know it's an Adam Sandler movie, like, it's just bullshit, but, like, why are they even a suspect? You just say, look, we met him on the plane. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so out of reach. That's
They didn't even meet him on the plane.
Of all these people that, like, have motive to commit this murder, why the fuck would the 2 people who were just invited...
They're the 2 people that don't have motive. Everyone else has motive. Like,
right.
I think that's also part of the comedy, though, is that they're the two only like real suspects by the police, and they're two like very nonchalant. They're like,
Least
let's
suspect.
go
Yeah.
get a beer, let's go do this.
Yeah, they're like very casually avoiding Interpol, like
Yeah,
across
Yeah.
all of Europe. You
which I
know.
also think is like a hit at the French government for having shitty policing
Mhm.
and
I do want to
government.
make a call out because there was something in this movie that I honestly was really proud of and I really liked it. I like the amount and the importance of the blow darts in this movie. Huge fan of that. I feel like they're way underrepresented in movie.
Blow darts.
Yeah, blow darts.
Yeah.
Like there was a scene that was completely uncalled for, and essentially they were like running after the killer, or they were running after one of the people trying to catch up with them, and like they finally catch up with them, and then basically the killer like pops out with this like weird mask and has a gigantic blow dart gun, and it's just like.
Which, okay, let's also talk about that because the blow dart, one of the blow dart victims is Susie, the Japanese fiance of the
Mhm.
70 million-year-old,
Was
70
she
billion
24?
dollar.
Did they say
She
she was
was.
24?
I don't
I
think they
didn't
ever said
hear.
her age. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
don't
thought they
think they
did.
did.
I thought they said it was like he was like 60 something and she was like mid 20s. I can't
Yeah,
remember though.
but let's point out when she dies, she has a gun on her and she's aiming it at the two Americans and
Yeah,
Juan
it's like
Carlos.
her Americans person in like a kabuki mask. You know what I mean? Like she's
Yeah,
like she should be able to see that the person with the blow dart gun.
but that's what I'm saying. Like yeah, I don't know. Just I was like, why do you have a gun? Why are you aiming it at them? Like, I
Yeah,
don't know.
why do you have a gun? Two, if you see like if you're aiming a gun at somebody and behind them you see somebody step out in like full black robes with like a mask and a blow dart gun,
Shoot
why
them.
don't you take a shot? You know?
Which I think no, I
Shoot
think
them.
she was trying to like actually aim at them. I don't think, or no, I don't know.
I guess it's that whole. It's that reminds me very much of that whole whatever it's called. What's the science experiment where like there's the guys passing the balls and it's like count the balls and then like a guy comes out like dressed as a gorilla. And
Yeah, that old YouTube video.
Yeah,
It was like OG YouTube. Yeah.
And it's like, did you see the gorilla? And everybody's like, oh, that's crazy. There was no gorilla. And then like you look at it, you're like, how did I miss the gorilla? Like,
I don't know
But
what you're talking about.
did you see the?
you've never
well,
seen that video?
That's how the video goes. It goes count, or it's like count the people in black or something like that. There's a bunch of people running around, and then at the end of the video, it's like the number is 15. But did you see the man in the gorilla suit? And then it like rewinds, and it's the same video, and there's a dude in a gorilla suit walking in the background. That's like dude, that's like OG.
Yeah, we gotta show. I'm really upset that we told you like the hook of it because I wish I could show that to you genuinely, and you'd like count the people like, and then you were robbed of that experience. as a
Missed
child, Joe.
Sorry, Joe. Sorry, Joe.
Jennifer Aniston, she sneezes a lot in this movie, and they make a big point that she needs Claritin and not Allegra, and I'm waiting for this to be like a big key story plot point, and it's so small, and it really makes it's not accurate to what actually happens. It does like I thought that was going to be like the key that saves the day, like oh she was allergic to someone's perfume, and that's what now led us to realize it has nothing to actually do with the hook or who the murderer was, and
Mhm.
I was
It's a red herring.
because
The Allegra Claritin mix up that happens is a red herring. Like it's like
which is fine if you mention it once, maybe twice, but there was at least 5 references of Claritin and Allegra
mhm.
and her sneezing that I thought was going to be a much bigger plot point.
That's
But
also
it
something
wasn't.
I would totally do.
I
Like
think
if like
Jennifer Aniston just had allergies during filming, and they were just like, okay, fuck it, just keep it in.
she's like, I can't use Allegra. Yeah. Oh, we have to write this into the story somehow.
She just keeps sneezing during like the best take, and they're like, fuck it, just keep it in, and we'll write it around it.
You talk about how everybody in this movie with a gun sucks. Like everybody with this movie and a gun sucks. I think that people get shot at all. Like Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler, when they're not moving, not far away from a shooter, and like they like the person takes a shot, hits a book like 15 feet away from them, and they're like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, they were shooting through the door though.
Well, no, that's because they hit the big fat guy.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, everybody did suck, but at least they prefaced that with Adam Sandler when that scene when she's like, he was the worst shot. He almost didn't get out of the academy because he couldn't shoot. And then he's like, and she's lactose intolerant, blah, blah, blah.
That's so funny.
And burps in her sleep.
yeah. That's like, that's pretty funny.
Always
Yeah.
delicious.
That was it. There's great one-liners in this and just good banter.
Yeah, it was pretty good. How about the conclusion then? How did you think it wrapped up nicely? Like, I mean, it was a murder mystery, so
It was
they
kind
just
of
kinda
expected.
Tell you, yeah, they just
Well, they
kinda
also-
tell you.
They killed, like, of the 8 characters that it could have potentially been, they killed 4 of them.
They
So
just
you're
kept killing them.
Well, yeah, but then at the end, like, everybody, like, they even go through it. That was funny, too. And they're like, wait, did we kill them? Because everybody, all the rest of them were accounted for until you find out that 2 of them weren't accounted for during,
So,
like, different times. You know, that they were
Yeah.
in cahoots, Juan Carlo and
Because there were
Grace.
2 murderers.
Grace.
Ah!
no,
Yeah.
there's 3 murderers.
What do you mean there's
This-
3 murderers?
There was a big plot hole here, okay? Listen up.
What are you talking about? Joey's about
Carl-
to conspiracy series.
Juan Carlos, who is one of the 3 murderers,
2
says
murderers.
at the very end when he's holding up the French police officer hostage and about
Mm-hmm.
to get into the police car, he says Grace and Toby plotted, because that was the big thing, is that there needed to be 2 people in this plot, one to shut the lights off and
Oh,
one
yes.
to stab him.
Yes.
So they said that Grace and Toby plotted to do their respective parts. Grace shut the lights off, Toby killed his dad,
Yes.
and then they would go from there. But Grace, when they were all in that room, they didn't know what they were there for. They thought they were there to celebrate a marriage. When they find out that he's cutting them out of the will, she leaves the room and doesn't come back, doesn't talk to Toby, doesn't say anything. They had no chance to plot and plan a coordinated murder of. Okay,
Well, she
let's set
turned the lights off. That's the reason she left the room. She
Yeah,
left
but-
the room to turn the lights off.
You don't plan a murder like without.
No, but I think they were planning on doing it that night. But then he came in and threw in this twist that he was signing the will right then and there.
You think they were going to
knew-
murder him anyway?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they want his money.
Yeah, but
And
there was
no,
no
but you don't
incentive
understand.
of losing the will.
No, Joey, you
until-
don't understand. You don't understand.
What don't I
Wills
understand,
and
James? Tell
old
me.
people. No, stop.
Mansplain to me.
Let me just explain. Old people are like pinatas. If you smack them, the candy come out.
Yeah.
The inheritance.
I understand now. No, but that's what I'm saying, is that like they didn't have a chance to actually plan and coordinate and be like, okay, I'm going to shut the lights off, you stab him type of thing. And it made it seem like it was this big coordinated attack, which is why in the beginning I wrote Butler or Juan Carlos and Toby, because I thought there was going to be a plot twist that Juan Carlos and Toby were gay lovers, because
What?
Toby was gay, so I thought Juan Carlos
Was
gonna
he?
be his. Yeah. He
I
said,
completely missed that. I completely.
in the beginning, he said my fiance would have left me for him if he wasn't a flaming queen or something like that.
That makes
So that's
sense.
why he went for. That's why she went for the dad.
Now
Yeah,
I-
you're right, Joey. That is a big plot hole. This movie
Yeah.
fucking sucks. I just
you just
Gripe,
completely
that's the
shifted
word.
Kevin.
Gripe, gripe,
Oh yeah,
gripe.
that is a huge
Also,
gripe.
PSA: don't hit old people. They can't take it.
What candy comes out?
No,
Well, they
that's
can-
not
They
true.
can probably take a hit from you, James, but not anybody else.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Kevin. Catch me outside, Kevin.
You did not just say "catch me outside."
How about that?
I hate you.
Anyway,
Anyway, yeah. So you're right, Joe. That is a big plot hole. There were 3 murderers, and out of the
there
4
was
people
3
in that
murders.
room-
I don't think Juan Carlos and Toby were working together. I think they were connected by Grace, who
She betrayed Toby.
betrayed
and then-
Toby.
I think
They
we're thinking
were
too much
together.
about this. It's an Adam Sandler movie. I think. I think.
It's an
I
Adam
think.
Sandler movie that ended with a car chase. Like
That car chase was kinda
all
sick,
we
though.
needed to say.
It ended with the prequel to a new movie,
Yeah, did you catch that? The
Orient
Orient
Express?
Express. That was awesome.
which
I
is
love
another
that.
murder mystery movie.
Yeah.
So that that is an Easter egg for sure. The Orient Express is a real thing though.
Yes. No, it's
Yeah,
like
but I
an
think-
established story, but I think it was just like a nod to like
This
you
movie
know.
came
No,
out
no, no,
after
no.
that
I'm
one,
saying
so.
the Orient Express is a real train.
No, I know.
Yeah, but
But
there's
it
a
is
fake
a
murder
nod.
called.
It is
yeah.
definitely a nod to the murder on the Orient Express. There's no way that it's not. Yeah. It does end with that nod. Yes, you're right.
Do we want to completely spoil this or no? I think we said no.
Didn't we
Don't
just
wanna-
do that?
We
No,
already
but why
spoiled it.
Grace?
Oh,
What was
because
her
Grace
motive?
is
'Cause
like
it's his
secretly
daughter.
like,
I
she's
guess
like,
we're gonna
like,
do it.
yeah, we're doing it right now. We're doing it live. We said we weren't gonna do it, but we're gonna do it. Grace is she was a part of all the killings. Her name was like the person that was the ex-wife of the.
Okay, James.
Yeah,
I'm not
all
gonna
right.
do this. I'm not gonna do it. You guys.
All right, old dude who got murdered in the beginning had a kid with another woman and they both supposedly died in childbirth, and then you find out that it was Grace.
Whose real last name is Butler.
Yes,
So,
yes.
the
so the
butler
butler did it.
Did kill the old man.
So Joey's right. So
I
Joey-
was freaking right.
You were right. You were 100%
Butler-
right, Joe.
Juan Carlos and Toby.
Oh, Joey, is that your social security number in that book?
Yeah.
Hey, hold on, pull that back up again.
No, James, you know this is my Elvis Presley book.
Obviously, very nice.
Oh, yes.
Second-
Elvis.
Second appearance in this podcast.
hmm
So yeah, I mean, that was it. Just a murder mystery that ends with them just telling you, like any other murder mystery, they pretty much have to spoon feed it to you at the end because they don't give you enough during the movie to figure it
They gave me enough.
It was-
out.
I keep thinking of Knives Out because that's the other because Kevin said Knives Out at the beginning of the podcast and I can't get that out of my head. But like the explanation at the end of Knives Out, where what's the actor's name that plays James Bond?
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig is just like walking around in his Kentucky Fried accent, like explaining everything. He's like, the donut hole fits in the donut. But no, it's just like it definitely felt like it was fun. It was good, and I'm glad that we got to kind of like Does anyone else have anything else before we get into like last thoughts and then press play or keep scrolling?
When they're running to get into the Ferrari and Adam Sandler's like, I'm driving. And he runs over. They get in the car.
He's,
And then
I got
they
the mustache.
realize,
I'm driving.
Yeah. And then they get in the car and they realize, oh shit, they drive on the other side. And Jennifer, oh, here's
Which
a gripe.
they don't. In Italy, they don't drive on the other side.
Were they in Italy?
They're
at
not
that
in
point?
Italy.
Yeah, they're at Lake Como.
Oh, I don't know where that is.
Oh. So here's a gripe. No fucking shot. Remember they're driving the car and it starts revving really high and he makes the joke where it's like when the engine starts to sound like your sister complaining about blah blah blah, that's when you shift. If she
Didn't know how to play stick. If
she didn't know how to drive stick, no fucking way she even gets out of that parking spot.
No.
If anybody here has driven stick, the first time you drive stick, no way you're
impossible.
getting out of that spot. No way you're driving it. Like, there's no way you're driving it like a stunt driver.
That's
sorry.
one of
I'm
those
just
things
saying.
where you just kind of. That's where I lean into it and believe and just like have fun with it.
I'm just
'cause-
saying. I saw it. I was
No,
like,
you're right. And like, but she was driving. I also want to make that comment where she's driving like crazy and she's like cutting these turns like this professional Formula One racer. Like she's keeping up with
Yeah,
him.
they should have made it
Yeah.
more funny where she's like struggling more because she's competing
Yes.
with a literally
Yes.
Formula
Also-
One racer.
Was that police car a Bugatti? Did anyone else?
No, it
get-
was an Alfa Romeo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Still looked fucking nice as shit.
Fucking idiot. It was a nice car.
I'm sorry, it's an Alfa Romeo.
Go ahead, James. What were you gonna say?
Press play or keep scrolling. I started with Joey at the beginning of the podcast. We're going to start with Kevin at the end. Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, this one is like I'm hitting play. Like, it depends on the mood, right? If you're just looking for something stupid to put on with your significant other, or like you get like just something to put on in the background, or you just don't feel like getting into a movie where you really have to think about it, just throw this on. It's funny. It's you'll get some laughs. Like, that's all that really matters, right? For an Adam Sandler Netflix movie. So yeah, I'll hit play.
Sounds good. Joey?
Yeah, so I did have one more thought I was going to say. Remembered what I was going to say before.
No, it's too late.
It's too late.
I
We're already in the
liked
next...
that they ended this movie with them being like, oh my god, this was their best anniversary ever. We love Europe. This was so much fun. Like, we had a blast. And it wasn't like, babe, I love our boring lives together. Like, let's never come back to Europe. Like, I'm glad the way they ended it in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, they experienced a murder. Like, and they almost died multiple times.
They loved every minute of it, though. Like, she literally felt like she was reading her murder mystery
Her
books.
book. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm pressing play. I think that this is a great movie for many moods, not just like a specific, like I have to be in a sad mood or by myself. Like you could be with your family, you could be with your significant other, you could just be like put it on in the background or actually just want to watch a movie. It's quick, it's easy, it's got a lot, and it's exactly what you expect with a little bit more, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's not a masterpiece. It's
No.
Adam
No, it's
Sandler.
definitely not a masterpiece, but
No, it's
we
chicken
don't really
McNuggets.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know what
Chicken
you're getting,
McNuggets.
and you're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm also quick and play on this one. It's definitely it's like, in my opinion, it's a popcorn movie. You know what I mean? It's a movie that like you kick back, you sit down, and you have like, it's something you sit down and you almost go to the movie to like if I went in theaters, I'm going in theaters because one, I'm either hanging out with people, or two, like I want to go eat movie popcorn. You know what I mean? That's a popcorn movie.
I think I'm disappointed if I go to see this in theaters, but I'm not
Yeah.
disappointed.
No,
that
but
I
it's a
watched
streaming
it.
movie.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, it's a streaming movie. That's what I'm saying. I think that this is like a very easy to watch, fun. Like it's a fun little ride. It's not too long. If this was a long movie, it would have been bad. You know what I mean?
This
Yeah,
is
you're
the
right.
I bought Netflix because I want to watch Show X. Now I have Netflix. What else can I do with it? Let me watch
I'm
it.
in month 14 of quarantine and I need to watch something.
Exactly. It's like no one's gonna purchase Netflix to watch this movie, but when you have it, if you have it, you're gonna use it and
Agreed.
watch this movie.
Agreed. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys. I think it's a good, I think it's a good assessment of this one. And everyone listening, please click subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and please leave a comment, give us a like. Let us know what you want us to watch next.
Also, please go follow us on Instagram and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps a lot. We
It does.
appreciate you.
And
Yeah.
if you want to give us your money on Patreon, you can do
Oh,
that
yeah.
too. If
Help
you
us.
don't,
Give us your money. We
Yeah.
always love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we set
We'll
up a
give you
Discord
something in
server.
return.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we set up a
Yeah.
Discord server. Come hang out with us.
Mm-hmm.
We
yeah,
play video games and stuff.
Well, they do. I
Yeah,
talk
I
about
do.
movies.
that is
I
true.
play video games and stuff. Thank you all for signing on, and we'll see you next time.
See you next
Thanks.
week. Kevin, say goodbye.
Bye.
Kevin, say goodbye to the people. Wait, do I have to give dating advice?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
wait.
okay.
Oh,
Ooh,
wow.
almost,
Okay, 30
almost.
seconds,
Wow,
30
wow,
seconds.
wow. Dating
Finally
advice.
out.
Dating advice.
Yeah, what's
Okay.
your dating
Dating advice. Coffee is a great pre-date. Ask someone to coffee. Great way to talk and figure out if you actually want to spend a long period of time with them.
Is that a pre-date or is that actually a date?
No, that's a
I'd say that's
pre-date.
date.
Coffee's a pre-date. Let's
What's
be
a
real.
pre-date?
A pre-date's like when you like go up to somebody and like you're interested and you've gone to like a bar or something together, but then you're like, I kind of like this person and I want to know what they are as like a human, you know? And
I
like
feel
you want to
there's
talk.
no such thing as a pre-date.
That's like a pre-date.
But I like
I'd-
that. I
Date.
think you're starting a new trend here. Not just giving date advice. You're starting the whole dating trend of
Let's do it.
let's have a 30-minute.
That's what I'm saying. Like
warm-up.
it's non-committal. Like because like
Are you
Aperitivo.
asking me? Are you asking me out on a pre-date, Joe?
It's like a little appetizer before the real date.
no, it
you know,
is.
you
But like
just-
it's honestly such a good idea because like when you go on a date with somebody, especially like if you're going cold, right? Like if you're coming off Tinder, if you meet somebody in a bar, right, and you're going in cold, like having a pre-date is a really good like, oh, this is like a 30-minute to an hour thing where we're just gonna chill for a little bit. You know what I mean? It's not like you're spending 3 hours together.
That's still a date.
It still is okay, so Seinfeld has a great episode about this. It's the lunch date
course.
versus the dinner date. And the lunch date, there's a lot less pressure because you're obviously not going to spend all night together. So you go get lunch, maybe take a walk, and you part ways. There's kind of just like there's a set limit to it, or if you do it on your lunch break at work. But a dinner date, kind of, there's always that expectation of what's next, where are we going, is this the night type of thing. So I think what James is kind of saying maybe is start with a lunch date or a coffee date
Yeah.
before
Something-
you
something
commit to
less-
a full
Right.
night
I'm
together.
just saying there's no such thing as like a pre-date.
Kevin's the date police over here. He's like,
I'm just saying you're making up bullshit word, James. Stop
You're
Fuck
making
you,
starting
bullshit
a
James.
trend,
words.
damn it.
Hey,
Yeah,
Kevin,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Is this your dating advice?
Oh,
Or is this
you're right. You're
my
right.
dating advice?
You're right. That's your dating advice. Even if you're fucking wrong. All
All
right,
right,
go
a
ahead.
pre-date.
Thanks everyone for signing on. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next week. See ya.
Bye.